Everybody in the whole wide world really just needs to chill.
I before I forget about the Strombo, House of Strombo.
Oh, anyway, so that's why I went to Montreal. So I said, F it, I'm doing it at my house. I walked by the edge. I walked by Montreal. They were both closed. I said, I'm doing it at my house. That's how I started doing the House of Strombo.
Something dies, something new is born. Yeah, I get that symbolism there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the main question that I got confused about there was when I realized you were straight edge and living the straight edge lifestyle. Specifically with having bands coming into your house, I was just going to ask you, like, what kind of a struggle, or do you find that difficult to have people?
You mean if there's booze or drugs in my house?
Well, we know musicians and rock stars are generally indulgers in a lot of, No,
I go to Burning Man all the time, man. I've been 5 times. I love it.
So how did you, or when and why did you become straight edge then?
I quit. I went clean in 1994.
Oh, wow, ages ago.
Long time ago. I was making a lot of bad choices, and I was going in a bad direction.
You would have been pretty young at that point, yeah.
22.
Yeah.
But I mean, I started early.
Same here, yeah.
I earned it. I earned it too. You know what? And I just decided it was time. I was unhealthy. Doctors kind of weighed in on that as well. I had some doctors who were just kind of like, you got to change your life. I remember getting my last rites from a preacher. I remember like there was,
Jesus.
I was near the end for sure.
You were in hospital or something?
No, I was at home, and but I wasn't like. But that wasn't alcohol or drug related. That wasn't that. It was just not. I was in good health. And then one day I just kind of went, fuck it, I'm done. And also I realized, and this is true, man. Everything I've said to you is true. I think. I realized that I wanted to be good at this job. I wanted to be good at it, and I wanted to be good at it on a level that I knew was there, but was out of reach. And so I thought, if you want to, when you're watching the greatest musicians of all time, music heads will call them killers. That's a fucking killer. That guitarist is a killer. I wanted to be the equivalent in my business of a killer. And I wanted to get to that level where I could sit in any room in any country around the world with anybody, regardless of what they did for a living. Could I sit across from a president or a prime minister or a dictator?
Not be fazed.
Not fazed at all. Not just not be fazed, but own it. Like, and say, hey, you have a responsibility to reach the audience. And I knew that it just took time and effort. So I made a decision when I was very young in my career that I wanted to be good at this. I wasn't an addict. I wasn't an alcoholic, none of that. But I'm like, I think to get to where I need to go, I have to focus. I talked to Tom Morello about he came over to the house from Rage to talk about his practice schedule.
An audio slave.
An audio slave. He talked about the amount of hours a day he practiced. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Well, so did I. But I couldn't.
But he may have been practicing under the influence, right?
I don't think he was, actually.
That was just the point I was going to make when you're talking about the greats and all that. I'm sure tons of them were, using or whatever.
Yeah, but they're all dead.
Yeah, that's true.
They're fucking dead, man.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine was like, all your favorites, your favorite music, wouldn't exist without marijuana. I'm like, that's not true. My favorite music wouldn't exist without heroin.
Yeah.
Right?
Heroin's
my favorite
probably the big
artists
one,
were fucking junkies. Johnny Rotten. Johnny Rotten's one of my favorites. Yeah, these are like the kings.
Brad Noel from Sublime.
Yes, exactly. Patti Smith didn't do heroin.
But a hell of a lot of them did, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought for myself that I will only get to the level I want to get to if I practice in a way that's commensurate with my goals. How committed to this am I really? So I knew people who were trying to get work in this world would go home and practice an hour a day. I practice 15 hours a day. Dude, I still, to this day, practice. I am constantly working in my craft to this day. I've done this for 30 years. And
Sounds like you have multiple crafts, though.
I have multiple crafts, but I have to work on them in multiple ways,
Yeah.
right? So I spend so much time doing shit that people I work with look at me and they say, why are you wasting your time with that? But I know what I'm doing is I'm practicing. Because remember that great Allen Iverson thing? You talking about practice? We talking about practice? That's what this is. It's practice. Like you have, if you want to be good, practice a little bit. If you want to be great,
phenomenal, yeah.
Honor it. And because being great is not a thing to achieve. Like, it's not like I'm great. No, it's not anything I am. It's a work ethic. Like, this is not about me. This is about the work ethic, right? And the craft. And everybody can get to this level and do whatever they want. But you have to honor it. Craft is not something you own. Craft is something that you hope.
Something you harness.
And hope it shines its light on you for a minute. And you have to do so much just to get to that point. and I respect it. I mean, I come from zero education. I went to Humber College for radio broadcasting. I was a movie theater usher and a forklift driver, and I worked at Mr. Submarine. But my career goal.
Mr. Sub, nice.
I loved it, man. Assorted.
They're dying out though, eh?
Are they? Dude, was it the cold cut combo? No, the assorted.
Yeah, my dad used to bring those home when we were kids.
Remember the assorted? Oh my God, Brian, the assorted was my favorite. Oh yeah, before I went vegan. Yeah. So all I'm saying is that when I realized that if I wanted, I couldn't do that hungover. And I was partying a lot, and I would go out and I would be out of my mind. And then one day I got a call, and I wasn't working. And I was at a party and I was fucking toasty. And I got a call from my boss saying, hey, can you come in and fill in?
Oh, shit.
And I remember it was an overnight show, like 1 or 2 in the morning. And I was obliterated. But what do I say? Totally. Got it. Went to work. Had a bunch of coffee. Overnight show. Barely pulled it off. But in my head, I thought, well, that was dumb. You should have been ready, man.
Yeah, like what if this had been something you actually cared a lot more about?
Yeah. Well, I was only 22 at the time.
Yeah.
Right? You know, also I was riding motorcycles, and I didn't even want to have a motorcycle with one drink in me. So a couple of friends of mine had died.
Very
so
smart.
I'm looking around thinking, I don't need that for this. And I wanted, so what I did was, and this is a true thing, man, every single day I went to work. On my day off, I went to work. I would go into the radio station at the Fan, the sports station. I would wait for the guy doing the music show overnight around, like down the hallway. I'd wait for him to put on a long song, because when he put on a long song, I knew he was going downstairs to have a cigarette. I would run into the studio. I would grab his playlist. I would photocopy it. I would return it. I would take a bunch of CDs that I know he wasn't playing, that he didn't need anymore. I would take it. He didn't even know I was in there. I would go into a production studio.
It's like some ninja shit.
Totally. I'd wait till 10 o'clock or whatever, top of the hour, midnight, 1 a.m. I'd wait till top of the hour, again, pre-internet, and I would just press play, and I would fake a radio show for nobody, just for me. And I did it every single day.
Really?
For years.
Wow.
When I got on TV, I'm by no means am I great at television on any level. I'm competent for what I am, but I remember like you can kind of do, you can like do any kind of show, and it's like yeah, because I practiced every kind of show a lot, and I practiced when I was tired, like 4 a.m, man. I'd be there faking a radio show for nobody. I'd record the show. I'd hand it to somebody and so, can you give me an air check? And they'd be like, you're shit, do it again. And I would every single day that I wasn't working. So I'd be working, and then I would sleep on my boss's couch in his office for 2 hours. And I remember he walked in one day, and I was passed out on his couch in the morning. And you know what he did? He shut the door and went and worked somewhere else because he respected the grind. And because he had that grind. And a lot of us in that era had that grind. You know, Barry Davis, Elliot Friedman, Bob Mackwitz, Jeff Merrick. We were all there at the same time. We were just babies. And we were all working like that. That's how you pull it off. Because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of cats who can have 3, 4, 5, 10-year careers. You can do that. How do you get a 30-year career? And you're going to be older a lot longer than you're young.
That's true.
So put the fucking investment in that, man. And most cats, and this is where I don't know how old you are, but most cats
34.
34.
Yeah.
So most cats in the social media game, you can get famous quickly, and that's dope, right? Because fame is an important part of this. Profile is an important part of this equation, right? The more you have people watching you, the more you have access to sponsors or whatever, or networks.
Propel yourself.
100%. Yeah, 100%. What you don't have though is this. Like most people, once they get a little taste of it. Well, they think that's the win. That's not the fucking win. The win is, can you do this in your sleep? If I got a call tomorrow. In fact, I was once, not saying I can. And by the way, this is not bragging, because this is not bragging. This is honestly
so far from meeting, you've been like the most humble dude ever. So
it's just work, right?
Yeah.
It's just craft. I remember, this is a true story. I was so tired. I finished the interview show season. I was so exhausted, right? I drove a motorcycle to LA. I get to LA, I parked my bike, and I had a house there, like I was renting, and I had a kayak there. I remember, I swear to God, I got in my kayak, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to the ocean. So I can swear on this show, right?
Oh, yeah. Fucking A.
So I paddled out in the ocean, true story. I'm not even that good a kayaker, and the waves are bigger than I need them to be, and I'm just going, I'm going to fucking die out here. This is crazy. But whatever, I'm just chilling, and I have my phone inside my shirt, right, out there. And the phone rings, and I look at it. I'm not answering it, and it keeps ringing. Then I finally pull it out of the kayak pocket, and I look at it, and it's a number from Toronto from work. And I'm like, oh, what do you want from me?
Yeah, leave me alone.
I'm not back for 2 months, or what do you want? So I answered it, and they're like, hey, listen, so he'll do the interview. And I'm like, what? And it was Prince Charles.
Oh,
and he hadn't done a television interview in Canada, right?
That's a heavy hitter.
Yeah. And I was just, and they're like, where are you? And I'm just like,
start kayaking, George.
Yeah, well, this is it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm in the Pacific Ocean right now. So here's what I did. I said, all right, I'll do it. Put my phone in my pocket, paddle back, get in the car, drive into Hollywood, stop at a clothing store, buy something that I think I can wear, go home, take a shower, wake up on a plane in England doing the interview. But with zero, like not 1 ounce of me thought, can't do this. And it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm cocky. No. It's because I'm like, oh, yeah.
That thought doesn't even enter.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's not about you, right? When you have a public presence and you have, like I said, a platform, what it is somebody's giving you the keys to the car for a minute. Mm-hmm. Take care of that car. Be responsible with that car. Be respectful with that car. Drive the fuck out of that car. Make that car a bit your own. Yeah. But you're going to give that to somebody else next. So make sure it's better and faster for them. And so.
Don't total it.
Always don't. Yeah. I mean, I've wrecked my car a few times, for sure. But then get him a nicer car. So to me, it was like, it's practice, craft. And to me, a good career is like a good country. Like Canada is not a real, like we brag about what Canada is. It's not. It's an ideal that's not real. It's something to aspire to. Go get it.
Yeah.
Got to do the work.
It's a mentality. Yeah.
Want to call yourself a great country? Have clean drinking water for everybody. We don't have that. We're not a great country. Yeah. I don't give a shit what's great about this country. Yeah. Not everybody in this country has.
Those are all people who could be contributing to making it a better country, and everyone could be succeeding together.
Yeah, or not being poisoned.
Well, right?
That's
the baseline.
That's
obviously.
The baseline.
Yeah.
You would think, right? So we're not a great country until everybody has clean drinking water. Mm-hmm. I will fight.
Actually, the girl whose show I bailed on, we had talked about this a lot because she's putting on all these indigenous shows. She's an indigenous woman herself, and we touched on a lot of this as well. So
got to do it. And so, but it's something to aspire to. So I think comfort and success in his career, if you're so lucky as to be given it, will only be given to you. I'm talking about a long-term career, is if you respect it and you do the work and you challenge it. Make it better, make it more progressive, make it more inclusive. I draw a line in the sand very simply. You either are more inclusive or you're more exclusive. If you're more exclusive, you're not on my team. If you're more inclusive, you're on my team.
Right on.
Those who make this a better, safer place for everybody, especially people who don't have a voice, that's the team we're on.
That's a good team to be on.
Especially with our fucking privilege that we've been given by being, we're white men in this country.
Yeah.
Gift. Like we avoid a lot of bullshit by being guys like us.
And we don't have as many assumptions made about us, negative connotations being drawn about us just because of the way we look.
Walk down the street and just see what it's like when you're not white when a police officer shows up. Different.
Well, I mean, this was also my driving record, but I'm sure if I got pulled over once, and I have a really great driving record, and she even said to me, you can officially tell your mom you're a good boy, which I found very condescending, to be honest. But
the cop told you that?
Yeah, a female cop said that to me
I'd
after pulling me over.
Don't talk about my fucking mother.
I wanted to say my mother's dead.
No.
Fuck with that.
Oh yeah, I hear what you're saying.
But had I been a person of color in that probably would have gone very differently. I would have found a reason that I was guilty.
It could have been. I got kicked around hard by LAPD, and I was just like, my God, I mean, you're treating me like this, completely unfounded. But I know what they do to young men of color down there, and it's crushing. Where I lived in Venice, the story would all have been if you see 3 African American men standing on a corner just talking, there will be 5 cruisers.
Jesus,
it just happens. So we've already that's an indignation and a fear that we don't have. So what we're supposed to do with that extra space, you have to compartmentalize all the realities of your life. No matter what you and I go through, and we go through real human shit, real stuff, right? Real things that nobody has a smooth path for the most part. There's things we don't have to compartmentalize. Things we just don't have to.
Parts of just your basic makeup too. You can't change your skin or your ethnicity or any of that.
And if you're a man, think of all the things you avoid.
True.
So the stuff that we walk down the street, and we don't have a fear in us that a lot of women have to have.
Yeah.
Think about all the energy that goes into compartmentalizing that. We don't have to do that. So my thing is, what are you going to do with that space? That extra space you have. Are you going to go on TV and you're going to tell people how to make more fucking money? How you can be a better you? Fuck that. No, it's not about you. How can you take that opportunity and that extra space and do something on behalf of somebody else? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying like don't go on to talk about music or movies or comic books or sports. I'm just saying that with your profile, what are you going to be about?
Yeah, help the underdog sometimes.
Help them.
Yeah.
Help them. And if you got big elbows, stick them out. Stick them out. And that's been my and once I realized when I was young that my career is not about me. My career is about us. I work with the same cats I worked with 20 years ago. Us. Us is better than me every single time. And all the benefits that you want out of making it about you, you're going to get them anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to get them anyway.
But don't lead with that.
Don't fucking lead with it. You don't need it. It's going to come. It's not about being famous. It's about making good shit. Right? And I've learned over the years that language is really important. Not just what you say on the air, but what you tell yourself. What you feed your subconscious. That's really important. And so I can...
Like a mantra, you mean, of some kind? Or
just I won't let... Like, I will not get in my own way.
I do that constantly, I think.
Don't.
I mean, I'm clearly doing some things, right?
Yeah,
You're here,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
On a day-to-day basis, just with my anxiety and OCD and some things that I feel like I sometimes don't have control over. But
well, I mean, if it's a medical thing and
Yeah,
there's
I
doctors,
mean,
then that's different. But
it's still something I can try to... This one, my commentary about mental health, if you can, you should always still be trying to climb that.
If you can, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Take the medication if it's what works for you. But for me, I tried, Prozac when I was 18 or 19, and it worked in some of the ways it was supposed to. My anxiety kind of went down.
Yeah.
But all my creative juices just kind of left at the same time, and it was,
I'm only a doctor in the honorary sense and not in medicine.
I heard that. That's rad.
But I would never comment on like the medical component to it. But even without that, people get in their own way all the time. Mm-hmm. And in this business, everything's in your way to start. And I believe that if you can't figure your way through it, then you shouldn't have it.
Don't deserve it, yeah.
The career's not for everybody. Because if you do this job right, look at Donald Trump, right? If you do the job right as a public person, meaning he became super famous, like really famous. He was in Home Alone. He's very famous. Donald Trump,
The Apprentice and all that. Yeah,
he's been famous for a long time, right?
In a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways. There's no ceiling. He could become the president, and he did. Mm-hmm. Every other job has a ceiling. What's your union? What's your pay grade? Almost every other job in this world has a ceiling. This job, if you do it right, meaning a public person, build up some whatever, has no ceiling.
There's no limit, yeah.
No limit. So what's the cost going to be? Because it's going to cost you something, right? And the biggest cost is, are you responsible? And do you have the stomach for it? Because you need to have the stomach for it.